Be mean. Meet a blind girl at a mutual friend's party. She's super kind, funny, and has this contagious energy that lights up the room. Start talking, and before I know it, we're exchanging numbers. She casually jokes, "I promise I'm not blind to good conversation." Laugh awkwardly because I don't know how to respond, but feel like I struck gold. Fast forward a couple of weeks, we're on our first date. Nervous as hell, wondering if I'm gonna screw this up. She's completely chill, holding my arm as we walk. It's like having my own personal GPS. She jokes, can't tell if she's roasting me or complimenting me, but I'm here for it. Realize this girl is way more independent than I expected. She's blind, but she's not fragile. Feel like I've stepped into a whole new world. No idea where this is going, but I'm already hooked. We start spending more time together, and it's honestly amazing. Her friends are some of the coolest people I've met, always supportive and full of jokes. They're constantly teasing me, calling me things like seeing eye boyfriend. Her family is equally great, treating me like I'm some kind of saint just for being normal about her blindness. You're not dating her despite her being blind, you're dating her because she's awesome, I said once. They legit got teary-eyed. She comes over to my place for the first time, and it's a bit of a mess. Not because it's dirty, but because she's bumping into furniture and walls. Feel bad, but don't say anything because I know she hates being pitied. A couple of weeks later, she's moving around my apartment like she's lived there her whole life. Can't help but feel proud watching her grow confident in a space she didn't know before. Her guide dog is a literal angel, the goodest boy I've ever met. When she's not around, he's my unofficial best friend. We bond over snacks and throwing the ball in the park. She's a huge bookworm, but audiobooks can be hit or miss for her. Decide to start recording myself reading her favorite books so she can listen to them whenever. The first time I gave her a recording, she smiled so big and said, "Guess I've got my own personal narrator now." She keeps asking me to read more books for her, so now there's a whole collection of recordings with just my voice. Every time I catch her listening, she looks so happy and says, "It's like having you with me even when you're not here." Never felt this appreciated in my life. Hanging out with her and her guide dog is always an adventure. The dog's a total professional, but definitely gives me side-eye when I mess up. Like one time I nearly tripped over his leash, and I swear he sighed at me. She just laughed. Even he thinks you're a work in progress. Can't even argue because she's probably right. Her friends love to poke fun at me in the most wholesome way. They've nicknamed me Helen Keller Meat Pounder. Sounds cursed, but they mean it endearingly, I think. Honestly, they've become my friends too, and I've learned so much from them, like how to play board games designed for blind people. Thought I'd crush it. Turns out I suck compared to her. "Looks like you're the disabled one here," she teases, absolutely destroying me in every game. The little moments with her hit the hardest. She once asked me what the sunset looked like that day. Didn't know how to answer, but tried my best to paint her a picture with words. She smiled and said, "You make everything sound beautiful, even if I can't see it." My heart wasn't ready for that. The moment that changed everything came out of nowhere. We were hanging out, just talking about random stuff. She got quiet for a second, then said, "Sometimes I feel guilty about being blind." Didn't know what to say at first, so I just asked her why. "Because I'm more work than a normal girlfriend," she replied, looking so vulnerable. Felt like someone punched me in the chest. Told her, "You're not more work, you are more worth it." She tried to laugh it off, but I could see tears forming. Held her hand and said, "You make me feel like the luckiest guy alive, so don't ever think you're anything less than amazing." She started crying for real, and I panicked a little. "Crap, did I say something wrong?" I asked. She shook her head, hugged me and whispered, "No one's ever made me feel this loved before." Yeah, I cried too, not even ashamed. Later, when her friends found out, they roasted me like always. "Looks like you finally leveled up in boyfriend mode, dude." Even her guide dog gave me what I swear was an approving nod. Looking back, dating her has been one of the best things to ever happen to me. She's taught me so much: patience, understanding, and how to see the world differently. Not through sight, but through moments, emotions, and the people you share them with. Her blindness isn't what defines her, but it's part of what makes her so incredible. She's strong, funny, and unapologetically herself. And being with her makes me feel like I found something real. Sure, there are challenges, but what relationship doesn't have those? What matters is how much joy and love she brings into my life, and knowing I can do the same for her. Every time she holds my arm or smiles when she hears my voice on one of those recordings, I'm reminded why I'm here. Not because I have to be, but because I want to be. If you told me a year ago I'd fall for someone like her, I wouldn't have believed it. Now, I can't imagine life without her. TLDR. Sometimes life surprises you in the best way possible, and I'm so glad it did.